You're listening to Four Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast.
Today is Thursday, April 30th. I'm Johnny Kahner. Thanks for listening to Four Things to Know. Let's get to your first thing to know today. HCMC is on life support. State leaders are warning that the busiest trauma hospital in Minnesota could be just months away from closing without an infusion of cash. A rally in downtown Minneapolis today is trying to spotlight the problem. Ashley Grams was there, and she has more on what they are asking for.
The Minnesota Nurses Union gathering here not far from HCMC. I just talked to one of the union leaders who says it doesn't matter if you're Republican, if you're part of the DFL. They want state lawmakers to come together, find some agreement on a long-term funding solution for this hospital that serves so many people. And this isn't the only rally going on today. Faith leaders met in front of HCMC earlier this morning for a vigil, also asking lawmakers to come together.
That this is a moral obligation. This is not something that's business as usual. This is about people's lives.
The sales tax right now is something that we're advocating legislators to get behind. Is it a perfect solution? No, but it's what's best right now to continue to offer care.
And that proposal that he was talking about, that would boost a local sales tax that previously funded Target Field. There's also another option that's on the table. This one passed the DFL-controlled Senate just yesterday. That was a $150 million funding proposal that also included money for other struggling hospitals, but it would still have to pass a divided House.
Number 2 today, violence in Minneapolis. A deadly shooting and then a deadly stabbing within about 6 hours of each other last night in the North Side. A 69-year-old man was shot to death just before 9 o'clock last night in a home on Bryant Avenue North near 48th Avenue. Police are investigating what led up to that gunfire, but they do not think the shooting was random. Police Chief Brian O'Hara urges anyone who may have information about what happened to come forward. But that's not all the violence that happened last night. We also have new details on what happened overnight near 30th and Girard Avenues North around 3 a.m. Minneapolis police say a man was stabbed to death after two brothers got into a fight last night. They are both in their 20s. The surviving brother, who is the suspect, is now in custody. Minneapolis Police Chief O'Hara said, quote, "This is a heartbreaking outcome for a family. When violence occurs between siblings, it leaves lasting trauma that extends far beyond those directly involved. Our thoughts are with the family as they face an unimaginable loss." Number 3 today, the ringleader of the multi-million-dollar Feeding Our Future fraud scandal is due in court. It comes on the heels of new accusations where prosecutors say she coordinated a plan from behind bars to have her son leak sensitive details. We first told you about this earlier this week, and just a reminder, court filings say Amy Bach allegedly told her college-age son to download sensitive documents and interviews tied to her federal case. Bach then allegedly told her son to send that information to lawmakers and members of the media using a fake email address. Prosecutors say some of the documents were under court order and never should have been shared publicly. They argue the leaks could harm witnesses and the integrity of the case, and now they're asking a judge to sanction Bach and restrict her communications ahead of sentencing. Bach's attorney, however, tells WCCO that she meant no harm and is crying for help and wants the whole truth out. Again, her next motion hearing is expected today. Now, Bach's sentencing for her role in the fraud scheme, that is scheduled in about 3 weeks, May 21st. And your fourth thing to know today, one of the biggest sports nights in the Twin Cities ever. For the first time in our history, there are 2 deciding games in the playoffs at home in the Twin Cities. Let's first start off with the Minnesota Wild. They have a 3-2 series lead against the Dallas Stars, and the Wolves a 3-2 series lead against the Denver Nuggets. The Wild host Game 6 tonight at 6:30 at Grand Casino Arena in St. Paul. Then right after that, the Wolves play their Game 6 tonight at 8:30 at Target Center in Minneapolis. A really, really big night. Super important games for both teams, right? Because a loss for either, then you got to go on the road for Game 7. My personal opinion tonight, I think the Wild win. I'm a little more iffy on the Wolves just dealing with all those injuries. The Wild are pretty healthy. The Wolves are banged up, as we know. And now Io DeSumo, he is questionable for the Wolves. That would be obviously a massive loss tonight. Hopefully he plays plays tonight, but regardless, just a fun night in the Twin Cities. I mean, 2-0, that would be absolutely bonkers. Let's hope they pull it off. Those are the 4 things to know today. Let's now get a check-in on our next weather forecast.
Hey guys, next weather meteorologist Adam Del Rosso checking in. Our chilly stretch continues. There could be a stray sprinkle across southwestern Minnesota this evening, but otherwise just a couple of passing clouds. Low temperatures in the metro back into the mid-30s. Northern Minnesota will be able to drop into the 20s, so there will be some frost to kick off our Friday morning. Temperatures still going to be below average for our Friday. Once again, mix of sun and clouds. High temperatures will be making their way up into the mid-50s. Average this time of year is in the low to mid-60s, and eventually we do get there as we head into the weekend. For the latest, keep it at WCCO and CBS News Minnesota.
And now, here's more to know.
To another story today that we're following, state leaders are now fighting over who is going to get credit for the recent crackdown on the fraud crisis.
This is like the arsonist trying to claim credit for the work of the fire department. We really did not get much help at all from the governor's office.
That was Vice President J.D. Vance just a day after Governor Tim Walz tweeted that a round of Twin Cities raids happened because, quote, state agencies caught irregular behavior and reported it. Quality Learning Center in Minneapolis was one of about 24 businesses targeted Tuesday. You might remember that it first gained national attention from a YouTuber's viral video back in December. Then it shut down about a month later. The woman who owns the building took us inside, saying the daycare left in January. She said that when federal investigators showed up on Tuesday, she was really confused. Connor White spoke with that landlord.
As a business owner, you never felt that they were doing anything wrong in here?
No, I see the kids was coming. The parking lot was full of cars.
The woman also showed Connor a warrant that she says investigators left behind. It says they took a sign-in sheet, an invoice, and a security system from the former daycare. Investigators combed through several daycares and autism centers around the metro on Tuesday. Now, we do not know what happened elsewhere because all court documents are sealed right now, and so far, no arrests have been announced. We've also learned that 3 raids also happened out of the state, but ICE did not share details. The Homeland Security Office in St. Paul said it partnered with agents in Seattle and New England for those warrants. Sticking with politics, happening today over in St. Paul at the Minnesota Capitol, lawmakers are discussing a bill that would establish term limits for both the lieutenant governor and governor of Minnesota. The limits would be a maximum of 2 terms, which is 8 years. The public would then vote on the proposed amendment in November's election. And if that got ratified by the voters, the new limits would start in the 2030 general election. To a little bit of lighter news now, it's National Adopt a Shelter Pet Day. And to celebrate, the city of Minneapolis has some furry friends that are waiting to join your family. Wait for it, all for free. Minneapolis Animal Care and Control is offering free animal adoptions today and tomorrow. Starts at 1 o'clock and goes until 5. Now, this is a simple, cost-free way to give these adorable animals a forever home. You're seeing them right now if you're watching us on YouTube. And right now, there are 20 dogs and 15 cats hoping to win you over. All available animals are spayed or neutered, microchipped, and vaccinated. Let's get to some more sports headlines. The Toronto Blue Jays are in town tonight facing the Twins at Target Field. Boy, has it been rough for the Minnesota Twins. I know I've been hard on them lately, but I can't help it. They've lost 11 of their last 13 games. Just not good baseball. Hopefully they can figure it out. I will say, whenever Toronto's in town, there's always a ton of Blue Jays fans that are at Target Field, and that's always a bunch of fun. Love Canadians. And we'll move on to the Frost. They are the 3 seed in the PWHL playoffs. Now, their playoffs will start on Saturday in Montreal. They're facing top seeded the Montreal Victoire. That's my Canadian accent for you. So that begins, like I said, Saturday in Montreal. That's a 2 p.m. puck drop. It is a best of 5. Should be fun. Remember, they're back-to-back Walter Cup champions. Can they make it 3? I hope so. And last thing in sports today, Olympic skier Lindsey Vonn. Yeah, she's still in the news. She said she's not done with skiing. Vonn has had 8 surgeries so far since the crash at the Winter Olympics in February. Right after it happened, her dad said, quote, "There will be no more ski races for Lindsey Vonn as long as I have anything to say about it." But she was asked about that comment on CBS Mornings.
I mean, I am 41 years old, so I can. I can make decisions on my own, but my dad jumped the gun. If he should know by now that if you tell me not to do something, I'm going to do it.
So you want to be back on the slopes?
I mean, I want to ski regardless of if I'm racing. I love the mountains. That's always been my passion since I was a kid. So you'll see me skiing one way or another.
Yeah.
That will certainly be interesting to follow. Another comeback attempt. I mean, I wouldn't put it past her. And remember, everyone knows she grew up in Burnsville skiing at Buck Hill. Winter Olympics, when would they be next? 45 years old? Hey, I mean, if anyone's going to give it a shot, we know it'd be Lindsey Vonn.
It's time to take a breath with your Daily Bright Spot.
Instead of going tubing down the river this summer, you can go tubbing. Yeah, the Minneapolis Park Board is allowing a company called Minneapolis Hot Tub Boats to operate out of Boom Island Park this summer. It looks like a lot of fun, too, just sitting in a hot tub on the Mississippi River. Now, it's pretty interesting. Propane heats the hot tubs, and an electric motor powers the boat. The company says you drive them yourself, and you don't even need a boating license. They hope to launch the business in Minneapolis on Memorial Day weekend. So depending on the day, it is a little spendy. They'll be charging between $300 and $425 for 90 minutes of tubbing. And here's where boaters can travel. You can go between the Nicollet Island Railway Bridge and the Broadway Street Bridge. The company's website also says they offer a 20% discount for active duty military, veterans, and first responders, and a 10% discount for anyone who has an ID with a Minneapolis or St. Paul address on it. It does sound like fun. A really nice day boating down the river, chilling in the hot tub. Why not? I'd bring a cooler too, but I don't think that's included. Well, I'm Johnny Kahner, and this has been 4 Things to Know. We are here with the news you need every weekday afternoon by 3 o'clock. Thanks so much for listening today, for watching us on YouTube. Let's get to Minnesota Wild and Timberwolves wins tonight, shall we? Have a good night, everybody. Enjoy the games.
Listen to 4 Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.